with my co-host Sarah DeFelice, and welcome to the Karyn Reece Show.
We have some surprises, readings, questions from our audience, and a great guest known all over the world.
Many of you may have heard about the Shadow People or Hat Man. Well, our guest Heidi Hollis is an author, talk show host, and cartoonist, offering insight into all mysteries from aliens to angels. We recently connected through Skype from her Chicago home. Here's part 2 of our interview. You're known for your work on the topic of the Hat Man and Shadow People. Can you explain a little bit about these figures and how you use them in your platform to make them more aware of the paranormal world?
The Shadow People phenomena, I've always related it to the alien phenomena, believe it or not. I didn't know what I was dealing with. I had seen ghosts before. Okay, I don't like them very much, and it's like they're very nosy to me. And then I'd seen some UFOs, but to see a black mass, I'm like, what is this thing? So shadow people are these things that could kind of shapeshift into different shapes, like a rodent, a cat, something I describe as head and shoulder shadow. It's like, yeah, he's got dandruff. But no, his shoulders, it looks like his head is directly connected to his shoulders. It's like there's no neck to be seen, and it kind of big, hulking, no feet. But I have had some people that have written me and said, you know, I see this one and it has feet and has legs and it has arms. And I'm like, okay. But I mean, it's a possibility. They could take on different forms. I just don't hear about those a ton. These beings can influence negative things. They get into people's heads. Their favorite pastime thing is to pin people down and like paralyze them, choke them. People will say, oh, sleep paralysis. I'm like, sleep paralysis doesn't look the same. You know, you don't see the same kinds of garbage all the time, night and day. And then there's something that's even worse than the shadow beings. Like I see the shadow people as being like a minion to the Hat Man. And the Hat Man is this guy that wears a 3-piece suit, trench coat, cape, sometimes a top hat. Sometimes he'll change up his outfit, but not a whole ton. Sometimes he doesn't even wear a hat. But his presence is so evil. It's so disturbing. It is so grotesque, the things that he says and does to people. I can't stand him because he goes after kids. I'd call him a pervert. I mean, he's just horrible. He bites, he scratches, he rapes. He reaches into people's chests and he pulls their soul out. I mean, how much worse can you get, to be honest? And he tries to reap their souls. He tries to enslave their souls. I mean, I have the reports in the thousands.
I've heard reference to something called Slenderman.
Yeah, Karyn mentioned Slenderman.
Slenderman,
I've learned that this person that created the fictional character of Slenderman was basing it off of reports of Hat Man. So Hat Man is the real phenomena. Slenderman is not. And, you know, I'd never experienced Hat Man directly myself until a few weeks before I was publishing the book on him. He'd been behind me. He'd gone after my friends and family, but he never came in my face. He came at me. He came at me just before I put the book out, and he came at one of my patients at work. I mean, right after I spoke about him. And then 2 weeks after he was letting me know he was not happy. 2 weeks after I published my book on the Hat Man, you guys heard of the Slenderman Attacks with the 2 little girls attacked their little friend?
Yes.
That happened within a 15-minute drive of my parents' home. Oh. So I took it personally. Sounds strange, but whenever I've had, like, how can I say, these waking dreams, like where something is being told to me, like a lesson or something, it's at my parents' home. I don't know why. It's always there. It could be on their property or in their house or in the front. It's always there. I don't know. That must be my reference point for weird psychic stuff. But yeah, so I took that really personally, that it was within a stone's throw of my parents' home, you know. So yeah, the Slenderman is not the real phenomena. The Hat Man is.
What was the creepiest encounter, though, that you've ever heard regarding the Hat Man, and how did you navigate the encounter for them?
Oh gosh, probably the worst experience that I'd come across. I didn't get to navigate it for them, but this is probably the worst. This is a 7-year-old at the time, and she's an adult, and she wrote me about this. And she said, Hat Man used to come into my bedroom every night. He's got to bend over. I mean, because he's going to hit the ceiling. He could be 10 feet tall, 12 feet tall, usually between 6 feet, though, and 12 feet. So she said he would come into the room, and he'd have to creep over, hunch over her, and she was on the second bunk in her bedroom. And he would tell her, one day I'm going to get you. And he'd come nightly, and she was horrified. And she'd tell her mom, she'd go running down the hall, jump in her bed, and her mother was just getting irritated with it, like, just quit this. And so the girls started sleeping with their light on, to keep him away. He doesn't like light, but he will come in the daytime as well. But it does help to repel him a little bit. So she would sleep with the light on. Mom's like, light bills are going up. She took the light bulb out. And so the little girl still kept coming to her mom's bedroom, and everything. But this one night it came to a head. Mom had a party. She didn't want the little girl coming out to the party. She took the light bulb out and she locked her in the bedroom. Oh. Later in the evening, Mom came, and the party's still going on. Mom came to check on her. And now, the wooden brackets that kind of keep a kid into a bunk bed. Her daughter was hanging out of the bed by her neck with her head on the other side of the wooden slats. Not physically possible. The mom had to call 2 guys to break the bed apart, get her out, resuscitate her. She said, with my first words, I sat up and I said, he got me.